Hey everyone, I have some massive news to share here in this video. Just bear with me. So what I'm doing is I'm changing around everything, and this real estate channel will be a very focused Windsor real estate channel. Here's what's going to happen. So I just hired a gentleman out of Amherstburg to coach and guide and be my support on YouTube. I'm doubling down on all YouTube. I've canceled every other lead generation program. Those were getting way out of hand and had a very high cost tail to them. And YouTube is definitely the wave of the future. Doing video here for you to be able to learn some new things is exceptionally important, I feel. And so YouTube is definitely the place to be. So what you're going to see in the weeks to follow, now that he's part of my team, I'm bringing in thumbnailists. I'm bringing in scripters. I'm bringing in everybody with this team, all as consultants underneath this gentleman out of Amherstburg as well too, which I'll talk about when he's ready for that. But what that's going to do is it's really going to focus this YouTube channel on real estate in Windsor. You're going to have that much more content and that much more freedom to be able to understand what I see in the Windsor real estate market from a realtor's perspective as a realtor with degrees and designations, which I think are very important as well too. You're going to see the changes in the Windsor real estate market from neighborhood to neighborhood, possibly. If they're that much of a reason to do a video, I will. You're also going to get to know specific neighborhoods here in the city of Windsor a little bit better. There's some places that everybody wants to flock to, like say Walkerville. Everybody, Walkerville. And me, I'm like, well, yeah, Walkerville's nice, but they're $800,000 houses. How about the Erie, what I call the Ottawa Street Corridor, which is so much nicer, so much friendlier, so much less expensive, and so much more fun than Walkerville. Walkerville's very expensive. How can you have extra money to go have breakfast or go have a nice meal in Walkerville if you're paying an $800,000 mortgage? Wouldn't it be nice instead to have a $400,000 mortgage so that you can go for a walk on Ottawa Street, you can go for a walk on Erie Street, and you can have a beautiful Italian meal on Erie Street and just walk over? So those are things that are just differentiators to me that I think are more important. Other realtors may think that, yeah, Walkerville is the place, and they don't talk about other great places, more affordable places to live here in the city of Windsor. And I'm definitely more about all of the affordability stuff. And so at the end of the day, there's going to be some massive changes that way. There's going to be the separation of the Hot Wheels channel as well too. That'll make it a little bit easier on you. I didn't know this, but my Hot Wheels videos are getting like the tail of my Hot Wheels videos is just massive. And if there was ever any place to be able to, for me, to be able to monetize my YouTube channel, it is definitely in my Hot Wheels, and it needs its own place. And so I'm going to continue all of that out as well too. And it's going to be at a different spot though. So you'll know about all of that. There'll be a welcoming video with directions when that happens as well too. And then the last thing is that there'll be some other things. The stock market stuff will be going to my vlog, which is going to be a separate YouTube channel, where all of that stuff will go. Because that will be developed out a little bit later on, just like the life insurance channel. There will be a little bit of topic on that on my real estate channel, because you do buy mortgage life insurance when you buy a house, and that'll be there, but it's going to also eventually have its own channel and its own videos as well too. And so I'm just super excited about that. It's an investment in this business. I will admit it is a investment in the business, and it's hard because everything's expensive. But it was the right time to do that. I've canceled out all of my lead generation programs. Those were getting very, very expensive, and the return on investment was dropping and dropping and dropping. To me, it never made any sense to be paying, $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 a year to capture somebody's email address because they happen to come across your website. And instead, using YouTube to be able to do that at some point in time. I've got the guy to be able to get that done now. and just super excited about where I'm going to be going to with the YouTube channel. And thank you for tuning in. There's going to be changes. It's going to make a lot more sense. It's going to give you really good data, and it's going to really highlight why, if you are thinking about real estate, why to be in contact with me, and how I view this market, how I just operate in the real estate business. Right now, you see this weird guy that does a whole bunch of different things. And in reality, I'm just one of those brains, which is one of those really, really weird brains. Having the name Brian, I have a weird brain that can disseminate a whole bunch of different information all at the same time, and can be very, very empathetic to everybody's struggles. And can just take in a bunch of data and process it and have it. I'm one of those guys that when I watch Jeopardy, it's a blast. It's like, hey, I know that. Hey, I know that. Hey, I know that. Hey, I know that. It's just a natural thing for me. And that's different. It just is. It's just different. I'm just different that way compared to other realtors. I had a realtor call me yesterday screaming at me, not really screaming at me, but not really being pleasant either. And in reality, I pointed out to her, I did nothing wrong. What you're thinking that I didn't do. Thank you for blaming me, but the challenges that you have are internal to you. Your listing is not selling. It's not a Brian issue. And so at the end of the day, all of those things will all be fun to separate out onto this YouTube channel. It'll help you so much more, and it'll give me good analytics on who's tuning in, who's following along, and really kind of change around. And I knew I was going to get to this point. That's why I was just shooting video. And I've got over 450 videos here on this YouTube site, but we're going to be separating them out and finally putting them where they need to be in a logical way. He's going to be guiding me on a time frame as well, too, to be able to get all this stuff done. When at our last part of the meeting, I asked him, because he said, we're focusing on real estate. We're focusing on these areas of real estate. And then I asked him, I said, but why can't we also be doing the Hot Wheels stuff? And he pointed out, he said, your Hot Wheels stuff is running on its own. Just keep doing it. You don't really need me for that. Yes, we'll go and clean up and put some thumbnails in at some point in time. Yes, just keep landing them there, and we'll go in and we'll clean that up at some point in time here soon. But let's focus on the concepts of the real estate business and what we want to get done there. One last thing to share with you. When we looked at the, and I've always known this, when we looked at the percentage of realtors that were even competing in the spaces that I'm going into, there was absolutely no competition. And that's one of the amazing things about the city of Windsor that everybody is always so shocked with, is that nobody's doing this. Nobody. Or they're not doing it well either. But I learned that when I had my life insurance website, mortgageinsurancewindsor.ca, back in the day. It grew to #1 Google in less than 6 months. And it was never supposed to get there. And the guy that was developing that, a really, really smart guy out of Ottawa, he said, I can't believe, I never in my wildest dreams would ever think that we would get to #1 Google. And so rebuilding that at some point in time as well, too, is exceptionally important. And it's probably going to be one of the next projects that I also, once I get an idea on how expensive the YouTube guy is going to be, will probably be the next thing that I give over to Adam over at Media Duo. As you know, they're working on projects for me. They're great people over there. And they're really, truly helping me as well, too. It's nice to finally have, after being in business since, 1998 here. It's 2008. It's really nice to finally have people who understand me and are helping me finally without taking me for a ride. So it's really, really nice, really exciting. Just wanted to share that with you. It's coming. I'm working on it. I've got the guys now, and I'm super excited about where this channel is going to be going for you. If you have any questions about real estate, don't hesitate to give me a jingle, 519-995-6145. Some amazing things coming. Looking forward to it. Stay tuned. Like this channel, subscribe to this channel, do all that fun stuff. And I will be working on cleaning it all up for you. Have a great day. Bye-bye.